secretly hide in Luca to Pixar movies hidden references Luca. Today, we're breaking down 10 hidden things you didn't notice in Luca. But first, if you love the Alberto, drop a blue heart emoji. And if you're a fan of the Luca, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Number 1. When Luca Paguro comes out of the water, the spaghetti eating contest is still happening. Giulia Marcovaldo finishes first and quickly rides away on her bike. But if you look closely at the crowd, you can spot a woman holding a baby dressed in very familiar colors. And fans realized something crazy. That baby actually looks exactly like Riley Anderson from Inside Out. At first, people thought it was just a random background character because it wouldn't even make sense for Riley to be in an Italian village. But later, the director actually confirmed it was meant to be a hidden Easter egg, which secretly connects Luca and Inside Out in a really fun way. Number 2. Remember the tower where Alberto Scorfano lives? It actually looks really familiar. And once you look closer, you start spotting references to other Pixar movies hidden around it. The craziest one, Alberto has a toy that looks like Carl's head from Up. And there's also a boot that looks just like the one from WALL-E. If you look carefully, you can spot a poster for Portorosso released in 2020. You can spot a promotional poster of Portorosso, the location where Luca made in 2021. And that's already cool, but there's more. Behind Luca Paguro, there's a music record with a name, Four Villaggi means towns in Italian, that sounds a lot like Four Town, which feels like a hidden reference to the boy band from Turning Red. These tiny details are so easy to miss, but they make the Pixar world feel secretly connected. Number 3. Did you notice this emotional detail in Luca? When Giulia is about to leave on the train, she says goodbye to Luca Paguro first. But then, she turns toward Alberto Scorfano and gives him a very strange little look.
Ciao ragazzi, a presto.
At first, it just seems like a normal goodbye. But later, something important is revealed. When Luca and Alberto are alone, Alberto admits he secretly sold the Vespa they worked so hard to build, and he used the money to buy Luca a train ticket so he could go to school with Giulia. Which changes everything, because that means Giulia probably already knew about Alberto's surprise the whole time, and that tiny look she gave him before leaving may have actually been a silent thank you. Number 4. When Luca accidentally hits Ercole's Vespa, Ercole gets angry and splashes water at them.
Luca! Just a little bath.
And when one tiny drop hits us, you can actually see scales appear on his skin. Because of this, many fans thought the movie made a mistake. Because later during the race, Alberto runs across wet ground barefoot and doesn't fully transform. The same thing also happens with Luca's parents. They walk on wet surfaces without changing. But here's the hidden detail. Even though they touch water, their bodies are never fully covered by it. And later, when rain falls directly on them, they instantly begin transforming. So fans think when Alberto runs across wet ground, only the bottoms of his feet start changing, because that's the only part touching the water. But there's another crazy detail. When Luca first transforms into a human, he struggles to walk, because he's never used human legs before. But later, Luca's parents walk perfectly normally on land. At first you might think that means they had already visited surface and transformed into humans before. But then why are they so shocked when they see each other in their human forms?
It's me! You scared the scales off of me!
Grandma Paguro admits she secretly visits the human town all the time.
The land monster town, just above the surface. I beat a guy at cards there once.
So fans think Luca's parents may have visited the surface years ago when they were younger, which would explain why they already know how to walk as humans. Number 5. Alberto Scorfano actually has a scar on his left arm. And what's crazy is, you can see it in both his human form and his sea monster form. At first, it's super hard to notice, but once you spot it, it changes the whole scene at the beginning of the movie. Remember when the sailor throws the harpoon at Alberto? Some fans think it actually hit him and almost killed him. And here's the strange part. When Alberto is human, the injury looks like an old scar, but in his sea monster form, it still looks open. That feels way too specific to be random. Some people think it's a metaphor, like humans only see the healed version of him, while deep down, the pain never really went away. Number 6. When Luca and Alberto try building their dream Vespa from random junk, almost every version breaks instantly. Some collapse the moment they touch the ground, but eventually, they finally build one that actually works. Alberto rides in front while Luca jumps on the back. and for one perfect moment, they actually fly through the air together. But then something strange happens. The Vespa crashes into a rock, and the impact separates Luca and Alberto from each other. At first, it just seems like a funny accident, but fans think the scene secretly foreshadows their later friendship breakup. But later in the movie, Luca and Alberto also end up fighting and separating from each other. And by the end of the story, the two friends go their separate ways, which means the scooter crash may have secretly symbolized their friendship breaking apart long before it actually happened. Number 7. Did you catch these hidden Pixar secrets in Luca? When Alberto Scorfano gives Luca Paguro the train ticket, you can spot the code A13. That number appears in almost every Pixar movie as a reference to the classroom, where many Pixar animators studied Nana. But that's not all. The train car Julia Marcovaldo gets on has the number 1200 PP. That's a hidden reference to Pixar Studios' real address, 1200 Park Avenue, and the locomotive itself shows the number 94608, which is actually the real postal code for Pixar Studios. But the coolest Easter egg: the famous Pizza Planet truck appears too, just like in almost every Pixar movie. This time, it's hidden as a small prop made to match Luca's old Italian style. Number 8. At the beginning of the movie, Luca Paguro finds all kinds of human objects under the sea, and he becomes obsessed with collecting them. Later in the movie, many of those objects are actually used. Even the old metal diving suit eventually gets worn by Luca himself. But there's one object that never really gets explained: a strange card showing a person holding a knife. At first, it just seems random, like a normal game card, but fans notice something weird. Near the end credits, Alberto Scorfano can actually be seen holding a knife, which made some people think the card may have secretly foreshadowed Alberto all along. A tiny hidden detail most viewers completely missed. Number 9. When Luca runs away to the human town, his parents become completely desperate trying to find him. But there's one problem: they have no idea which human kid is actually Luca. So they come up with a crazy plan. They start throwing water balloons at random children. Because if Luca gets wet, he'll instantly turn back into a sea monster. At first, the scene is funny, but when you think about it, it actually makes no sense. Earlier in the movie, Luca's mother, Daniela Paguro, is extremely overprotective. She constantly warns Luca that humans are dangerous. She even says humans only bring death. So why would she suddenly risk exposing Luca in front of the entire town? If one balloon hit Luca directly, everyone would immediately discover he was a sea monster, and the humans could have attacked him on the spot, which shows just how desperate Luca's parents were to bring their son home. Number 10. At the beginning of the movie, the fishermen are listening to the song O Mio Babino Caro. Later, Luca Paguro and Alberto Scorfano listen to it together too. And here's the cool part. One of the lyrics talks about going away or leaving home, which strangely matches Luca's journey perfectly. But there's another hidden detail most people never notice. Inside Alberto's tower, you can spot two instruments, a lute and an accordion. Those are actually references to the musicians from Lady and the Tramp, and Pixar references that famous scene again during the end credits, except this time, instead of dogs, it's two little kittens. Tiny details like this are why Pixar movies are so fun to rewatch, and that's it. Which one surprised you the most? Theory or tiny details? Let me know in the comments. Lockery. And if you want next part, hit that like